So what really is going on the border? What is Joe Biden up to and his point person, Kamala Harris? Why won't he and his flunkies call it a crisis? Why is the media not interested? And why does Kamala, his new border czarina, refuse to even go and have a look at the tragic conditions his open border policies have wrought? So I had a crazy idea. I bought a camera, and with my trusty producer Jeff from my radio show, we decided to take a look for ourselves. And in this exclusive episode of the Gorka Reality Check, we dedicate the whole show to what we found out and what you need to know. But first, I must address the events of the last few days and what happened to America's mayor and my friend Rudy Giuliani. Rudy is one of the greatest patriots I know. This is a man who got New York back on its feet after September the 11th. And he was raided. His offices and his home were raided by the FBI. I decided to have him on my radio show to ask him what this means for his pursuit of the truth and what the raid is really about. As the president's attorney, because it also says in the regulations, the serving attorney general or deputy attorney general must approve of warrants against attorneys. So you're saying here on radio that Attorney General Barr or his deputy used his authorities to download your iCloud information?
At the time I was representing the President of the United States, and at the most active time that I was doing it, May of 2018 to November of 2019. That included the Russian collusion investigation, the obstruction of justice investigation, and the Ukrainian investigation.
Absolutely outrageous. Not only did they raid his offices and his home, taking away all his electronics, except, very strangely, they didn't want Hunter Biden's laptops. The warrant said all electronics, and Rudy told them, these are Hunter Biden's laptops. But they said, sir, we can't touch those. Why? What is this really about? And then, as you heard there, they had a warrant whilst he was the attorney to the President of the United States, my old boss, Donald Trump. They accessed his iCloud, all of his emails, all of his texts. Why? I'll tell you why. It's not about Rudy. You can't intimidate Rudy, the man who took on Al-Qaeda, the man who took down 5 mafia dons in New York. It's about you. It's about sending a chilling effect of intimidation across the 74 million Americans who voted for Donald Trump. They're saying, look, if we can do this to Rudy, guess what we can do to you? Well, we're not going to stand down. Rudy will keep on fighting. I'm going to keep on fighting. And you need to stay loyal to the truth. They can't intimidate us. It's un-American. And this was a nation born in resistance to tyranny. We'll keep you updated. We're going to dedicate a whole episode of the Gorka Reality Check to the deep state, and we'll discuss further what it means for you. So, back to the topic for today, the border. What's really going on? Well, I'm no journalist. I'm just a former strategy professor, DOD civilian who worked in the White House, who's now blessed to have this show and my radio show. But I wanted to find out. And we had Sheriff Mark Lamb on my radio show who invited me to come and see what's happening in Arizona, in his county, Pinal County. And he invited us down there. And that's exactly what we did. Here's me with the sheriff in the middle of the desert, looking for the evidence of what's happened in the last 3 months since Biden took over as the commander-in-chief and created an open borders policy. And it was shocking. I cannot tell you how shocking it was. We got out of the patrol car. We just got off the highway a few minutes, got out of the vehicle, and walked maybe 30 feet into the brush. And right there in front of us, evidence upon evidence upon evidence. Here you have Sheriff Lamb holding what we saw dozens of, scores of, carpet overshoes. The smugglers, the coyotes, the people being trafficked, pull these over their shoes. They're made out of carpet to hide their footprints so they can't be tracked across the desert. We saw dozens and dozens of backpacks, camouflaged equipment, water jugs, and even the harnesses for carrying illicit drugs for the mules. And it was everywhere within minutes of stopping and getting out of the patrol vehicle. I thought it was staged, but then we spent the whole day with the sheriff, and everywhere we stopped, the evidence was out of control. So what I have for you now is the words of one man who has 200 deputies, who's 60 miles from the border. He's not on the front line. He's 60 miles inland. At any one time on duty, he has 25 deputies, and this is what he's experiencing and the truth about what Biden has done to endanger all of us.
And the other thing about President Trump is, I could still post and say, hey, look, there's a border issue still. He understood that. So then what would he do? He would call all of us in, gave us a voice at the table. I'm a little sheriff in a town in a county in Arizona. I went to the White House 10 times.
10 times?
10 times well, probably 8, I think, to listen, to have some voice with the president and his staff.
And he listened to you.
And he listened to us. And they made changes. And you felt like you had a partner. We don't have a partner anymore. I haven't heard hide nor hair of this administration since they took over.
No invitations to the White House?
No invitations, no contact. As a matter of fact, most of the meetings that we've had that we used to have with Border Patrol and ICE have been either kept getting rescheduled and bumped. I don't think I'm getting any invitations to the White House anytime soon. But you know what? I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to do my job.
And outside of the good relations with the Border Patrol agents, above that, they don't care, right?
No. I mean, obviously they don't care because they haven't been here.
The Democrats don't want to come and see this.
They put a guy in charge that if I had a list of 100 people, he wouldn't have been on it. If I had a list of 10 people, he would have been, of not to do it, he would have been on that list. It's just, I don't know. I mean, you have to, at some point, you have to call a spade, and you have to start to say, you've got to be doing this on purpose. Because you can't, I mean, if you really wanted to fix the problem, there would be better communication. They could have done a lot of different things. Just everything, the totality of everything, that when we weigh it out, it really feels like they're doing it on purpose and really trying to just stick it to us. And stick it to the American people. So, and look, I don't want Joe Biden to fail. I'm an American. I don't want anybody to fail. I want to see this country succeed.
Yeah, but right now you're paying the price.
I didn't vote for him, but I'm paying the price. It wouldn't have mattered. If this would have happened under President Trump, exactly what's happening right now, I'd still be saying the same exact thing. And I would be calling for their action, even if it was who I voted for. It's not who I'm able to separate politics and common sense.
This isn't politics.
This isn't politics.
This is human trafficking.
Come out and tell me that there's nobody coming through this county.
That isn't politics. That's not politics.
And I want to emphasize,
is not politics.
The wall is not right here.
Yeah.
The wall, there is no wall, but where the border is 60 to 70 miles that way.
And just after one of those incredible walks into the desert, we came out and we met a rancher, a local. I'm just going to call him Jose. He has a cattle farm and a goat herd, and he was prepared to go on camera to talk about what it means to his family, how threatened he is by what Joe Biden has done to this nation. Play cut. So you're down here, what are we, like 60 miles from the border?
70
miles.
Yeah.
And what are you seeing in terms of signs of trafficking?
Just my whole place has got the things that they slip on their feet,
the carpet, shoes,
the jugs, backpacks. What they'll do is they'll get on my property and they'll get either right on the edge to about the middle of my property. They just dump all their backpacks and just garbage.
And you're trying to raise
Cattle and goats. Yeah.
So how often? What do you think?
Oh,
Every
shoot.
day, every couple of days? What's going? Is it like? How busy is it?
I would say every week we probably pick up 15, 20 backpacks. Who knows how many jugs? And the problem is I guess they want to get off the main road right here, so they come into my property, and then they get into the trees of our property, dump all their stuff, and you know.
What are you worried about?
I'm worried about running across one of them when I'm out checking my goats or my cattle at night, you know. Because when we're calving or when we're lambing, you know, or kidding, we'll go out at night and check on our animals because of coyotes and bobcats and stuff like that.
So when people in DC say there's no crisis, nothing to look at here, nothing's happening.
That's a lie. That's a lie, you know. I mean, what am I going to do when I run across 15 of these guys in the middle of the night and I've got a flashlight?
It's just a lie. What DC is telling you is just a lie. It's a crisis, and what happens next when that rancher comes across not only those being smuggled, but the coyotes, and they're armed. It's real, and that's 70 miles from the border. This isn't just about the border, it's about all Americans. And that's just a fraction of what we found in just one day's visit. Mainstream media doesn't go down there, but we do. And because we believed it's too important not to investigate and to share with you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.